Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Single Sounds. I'm your host, Katie Mack, and this is the podcast that helps all single Londoners find a date. This week's character is very unique, as he is the good-hearted version of the Wolf of Wall Street. He brought over his grandma's recommended wine for us to enjoy during the recording, so I can say with confidence any girl who is lucky to have dinner made by this individual will be in for a treat. Welcome to Single Sounds, the one with the good guy finance bro.
It's great to be here.
Lovely to have you here. So let's go to your profile first, your who, what, where.
Yeah.
So who are you sexually attracted to?
Women.
Nice. Easy.
Always women.
Yeah, never changed?
No. Don't plan to.
Fair enough. And what are you looking for?
Looking for someone who's very understanding, someone who is quite self-sufficient. I want quite a mature relationship, I guess. I can leave them to do what they want to do. I can invite them to parties. They can look after themselves.
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about who they're talking to. I want to introduce them to everyone. Someone I can really back. The power couple kind of vibes. That's the way to put it.
Love that. Okay, yeah, cool. I like the party leaving thing because I've definitely had that before where you want to just know that they'll be able to, I guess, make their own friends. Even if they don't know anyone in the room, they can go up to strangers.
Absolutely.
Just be really comfortable.
I'm really sociable, and I feel like anyone I meet, I want to introduce. I'm going to talk about them probably quite a lot, whether they like that or not, but I'll probably talk about them a lot. All good things. And so it'd be lovely when they do meet people that I can introduce them to people, I can meet people, we can meet people together, but also apart as well. So, absolutely.
Yeah. Sounds good. Do you have any height age preferences?
I mean, I'm 5'11". I'd love to say I'm 6 foot, but I can't lie. I'm an inch off. Shoes and my hair done maybe at a push. But I'm easy.
I really appreciate that honesty because the amount of people that would have rounded that up.
Yeah.
So.
Has to be done. So I'm 5'11", but I'm actually quite easy. Age-wise, I mean, I'm 24, quite flexible. Anyone below 27, I'd say. I feel like someone probably quite mature is what I'm looking for, hence the higher age. But I can do younger as well. So, pretty flexible, to be honest.
Nice. And how about where?
London. I mean, anywhere in London. I live East London. I work West London. I travel through Central every day. So actually, I mean, I can cast a net far and wide. I'd say pretty much anywhere in London works for me.
Awesome. Okay. What are your 2 truths and a lie?
First one is I got Instagram at the age of 24.
This year.
Could be quite late to the party. Yeah. The other one is a bit nerdy. I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under a minute.
Wow.
And the last one is that I've completed an Ironman, which for anyone who's not sure is a 4K swim, 180k bike ride, and a 42k run.
Yeah, it's massive. In case
that's fun. So yeah.
Well, these are good. Well done. The one that stood out to me more is the Rubik's Cube. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but it's very impressive. If you can do
Minutes
that,
quick.
Tops. Yeah, that is, I can't even solve it unlimited time. So that is so good. The Iron Man, I could see that. Yeah. I didn't feel like that was the lie.
Do I look sporty for the listeners?
Yeah. I feel like you have a good frame for an Iron Man.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like you can't be too small, can't be too tall.
Yeah.
Could be a runner. I see a runner vibe.
Mm-hmm. Instagram? Do you reckon I was late to the party?
That was hard. I'm going to go with no because you're 24. Mm-hmm. Normally I'd go with younger people have Instagram a bit better than my generation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Rubik's Cube is the lie.
It's not the lie.
It's not the lie.
It's not the lie. So the Ironman is the lie. I've done a half Ironman a couple of weeks ago. I'm training for a full Ironman, which I'm hoping to do next year.
Wow.
Booking it on Thursday. So country to be confirmed.
Amazing.
So I'm training for that at the moment. But yeah, Rubik's Cube, 53 seconds. Watched the film The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Saw that. I thought, I want to learn it. It's so in that film, it's a cool thing, I promise. So I was learning that and did it. And then, just got Instagram 5 months ago.
Wow.
Very new to it. 300 followers. I'm not quite famous yet, but I'm very new to it. So
that's pretty good, to be fair, for being new. 300, I'll take it. Amazing. So the Iron Man, I've always wanted to know this. Do you have to be accepted? Is it a thing, or can anyone just apply?
So anyone can apply, which is kind of scary because you've really got to train for it. It is serious and it is kind of nuts, but it's actually quite enjoyable. And even now, I say that I plan on doing one and never doing it again.
Yeah.
But the amount of people who I speak to about it say it's quite addictive. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like that. But no, I plan to do it once, get it done, bucket list, get it ticked off.
Nice, yeah.
I can't see me doing it again. But it's good fun practicing for it. Absolutely.
The Rubik's Cube, I'm just also so interested in that. You can learn it.
You can learn it. It's almost like a magic trick, right? Everyone sees it as you've got to be smart. It's this weird misconception, but you don't. It's just practice. It's a formula.
It's like a pattern.
It's a pattern, right? And it's the quickest you can move your fingers. To be honest, I'd always done it in about 90 seconds. The last company I worked for, a few people said, we don't believe you. Here's a Rubik's Cube, do it. And it was like God's gift to Rubik's Cubes. I just had the time of my life. Did it in 53 seconds. We're talking high fives, talking like chest beating. It was like, it was incredible. So that is my claim. That is, yeah. But I don't do it all the time. I don't do it. Party trick.
Party trick, yeah. That's amazing. I love that. Maybe I should learn. I really want to know. Do you start with one colour?
So you have to get like a cross. You have to get the whites to be like a cross on the...
Always the white.
Yeah, and then you get the other whites to fit, so you get one face of all white, and then you can work it out from there. But to be honest, I watched a YouTube video. I was interrailing, did it, managed to get it under like 5 minutes, then 3 minutes. And even then, people were looking at you on the tube when I was in like France or Greece, like you're a genius. And you're thinking, this is like the biggest... I feel fake, but it also is kind of cool. And then just practice, you get it down to about a minute. That's probably the quickest you do it. It's about a minute or so.
Yeah, well, your fingers don't move any faster.
Unless you get a really good cube and then someone, there's videos of people do it in 3 seconds or whatever.
Love that. So let me know your toxic trait.
Toxic trait, and I hate to admit it, but it's probably being on time. I'm always on time, most of the time, but I don't think I'm always on time. But I get a bit stressed if I'm not. Now, I don't mind if someone's late. I honestly couldn't care less. Like, it's absolutely fine.
Same person.
I want there to be no pressure. But if you're like travelling with me or we're going somewhere together, I will be on time. So I always like to, and it's normally because in my days, if it's work or outside of work or weekends, I like to pack a lot in. So it's always like, okay, I've got an hour here or 2 hours there and I've got something else and something else. Or if I'm flying, I've missed a flight before. And I think that was the game changer. Yeah. And that's where I was like, now I've got this sort of overcompensation for like, I need to be on time because I don't want to miss anything. So that's probably like the most toxic thing. My family, it drives me mental. I've got a twin brother, drives him kind of crazy because he's the opposite. And I'm there like, let's get ready, let's be going. And he's like, it's chill, like there's no rush, we'll be 20 minutes late, it doesn't matter. So we're quite different in that sense. Yeah, being on time, I like to be on time.
Yeah, fair. I don't think that's a toxic trait at all because I am always on time.
The good thing is, and my twin would be the first to vouch for this, if you're late, I will be there to help you get ready. I'm not standing there stressing, like, I'll do your ironing, I'll pick out an outfit, like, I'll do cleaning, whatever's stopping you from being with me, I'll do it. Now, he relies on that a lot to get ready and, like, be going out because he knows, like, I'm going to be picking out an outfit for him and I'll get him ready and I'll pack his bags. And so it's not always a bad thing. You just end up
being a slave.
Pretty much, right? Pretty much. But if it gets in there on time, we don't miss the flight or the train or whatever.
You're happy, yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah. That's what counts.
Fair enough. Okay, so let me know your worst dating story.
Okay, so I've got a couple because I think worst and most embarrassing are probably quite two different topics.
Okay, like that.
So let's start with most embarrassing. At university, dating a girl. I met a girl, quite liked her, met her at a party, didn't hear from her for about 4 days afterwards. And I thought, that's a shame, like, I really liked her, we kissed, but nothing much. And then she texted me about 5 days after. It was like, it's my birthday, the only thing I want is to see you, will you come round tonight? I was like, wow.
Forward.
Like, okay, let's go for okay, fine. Anyway, she was like, okay, I live here, but I'll meet you outside. Now, by the way, when I met her, it was at a party, I had a few drinks, it was 5 days before. I thought, okay, what do my friends tell me to do? Confidence is the number one trick, right? You've got to be confident. And she's French. So I thought, okay, practice a bit of French, like, hello, darling, how are you? Right? So anyway, I was walking along and I thought I spotted her. Right? I went to where she told me to meet. And I thought it was her, but she was looking in the wrong direction. So I put my arm around her and I said, like, bonjour, ma chérie, which is like, hello, my darling in French. Ça va, how are you? She looked around. It was not her, right? It was someone else. So obviously I died of embarrassment. But do you know what the worst bit is? The kicker. She saw this happening.
No, she was like 2 seconds away.
So like, I'm already red. And I was like, no. And then she was furious at me. Furious. Not even joking. Furious. She's like, how can you think that was me? She was disgusting. She wasn't nice. She was bigger than me. And I like, how do you recover from that?
No, you don't.
That was most embarrassing. I mean, honestly, I went as red as a lobster and I just, I could have cried. I could have laughed. I don't know how I got out of it, but somehow I did.
You still went on the date?
Still happened. We actually did a few dates together. So somehow I've turned it around, but I'm not quite sure how. So that was most embarrassing. Worst, I think, Probably happened a couple of years ago. Living with 4 boys. Met a girl at work. Everyone says do not meet a girl at work. But she was so flirty. The signs were there, right? Like I thought this is a given. So she was looking at me like throughout the whole day, like across our desk. She was leaving me notes. She was buying me coffee.
Oh, cute.
I was like, this is very sweet. And I loved that, like the butterflies. So I was like, okay, we see each other all the time. There's no point really going to a restaurant or whatever. I'll invite her around. I'll cook dinner for her.
Nice.
So I said, look, would love to invite you around. Let's have a chat outside of work. Why don't you come to mine? She's like, I'd love that. Absolutely. And so I said, well, look, what's your favourite meal? I like to try and be adventurous in the kitchen. I was like, what's your favourite meal? And what would you like to drink? She's like, okay, I love tacos, but I'm vegetarian, but I love tacos and white wine. So I'm like, okay, fine, I've got this. And I really want to impress. It's like something about me, which might be a fault, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I'm going to make tacos. I'm going to use like vegetarian mince, fine. And white wine, I don't know my wines at all. But who does is my grandma. So I did what any good family guy would do. I called grandma.
No way.
I was like, grandma, what's a good white wine? She's like, look, get a Sauvignon Blanc. New Zealand's my favourite. Do that, you won't go wrong. Right, pour a bottle of that. Anyway, I got to be honest, I'm not the most acclaimed chef. Like, I get around in the kitchen, I'm okay. It's not Michelin star, but I'm okay. It's not takeaway, so don't worry, girls, it'll be okay. But anyway, I thought, right, I need to do tacos. Not done tacos before. So I rallied up the housemates and I said, look, boys, there's a free lunch in it for you here. I'm working from home this day. Can we do like a mock date? I've got double the ingredients. I'll make you tacos. I'm going to use like, everything's going to be exactly the same. The time, like the pressure, everything. They're like, absolutely. So we do a mock date, okay?
That's so sweet.
I'm very grateful. 10 out of 10 scores. The boys loved it. Okay. So I'm feeling confident, right? That's the key thing. I'm feeling confident.
Done, yeah.
Going into the date. So this girl comes to mine. I actually meet her at the tube before walk her back to mine. Very polite. Go to mine. Cook a dinner. Bottle of wine. Everything's going well. She's like, should we go and watch a movie? And I'm like, absolutely. At this point, I'm thinking, well, this is a done deal, right? Like, it's very cute. It's very sweet. There's no need to rush anything. Watching a movie. Things start happening, starts getting a bit heated. We actually chat more than watching the movie.
Right.
I go in to kiss her. She completely rejects me. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, what? Like, I thought this was a gift. I was so confused. So confused. So anyway, she obviously does the classic, I should probably go home. And I was like, I couldn't even talk. I was so, like, it was such a given, right? Like, this is hours of planning with the boys. Like, how can this not happen? Anyway, she goes home and then we see each other in the office. We pretend nothing's happened ever since and not spoken about it. Madness.
Do you still work with her?
No, I've moved job, which wasn't because of that. I naturally moved job. And to be fair, whilst we were working together, nothing was ever said. It was very professional and that was fine. But I still don't know where it went wrong.
What happened? Yeah.
Like,
do you think maybe she thought it was a friend date?
Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I
Not when you ask what her favourite meal and wine is. I think by then...
And she's buying me, like, my favourite coffee. She's leaving me notes. Like...
Yeah.
Very odd. Very odd. So anyway, you can't let it hit your confidence. Get back on the horse. You've got to keep going. So there we go. Couple of stories.
That's good. I enjoyed both of them. I'm still really impressed you managed to recover from the accidentally saying the French sentence to the wrong girl. Like, that is impressive.
Yeah. I've had a few dates that have been a lot better since that. I do believe in sort of getting practice and, you know, you start to realise how to be better. Obviously, not getting the wrong person helps.
Yeah.
But then just like being confident and chatting and getting to know someone and you meet a lot of different characters. So
yeah. It is hard though, I think. A lot of the time now you meet people on dating apps.
Yeah.
So you don't really know what they look like in person.
Yeah.
And I've definitely been sat at a bar thinking, is that them?
Yeah.
Or is that them?
Exactly.
And you're hoping they recognise you because you're like, at least I hopefully look like my photos.
Yeah,
like,
it's so awkward.
It's horrible.
I mean, one of the things that actually got me a lot of confidence back was the guy who told me about this show, who you will know who you are. I went on a date and he actually jokingly said he would go on a date at the same time with a girl, but I didn't believe him at the same place. I made the mistake of saying where I was going and what time. And that was actually great because whilst we pretended to ignore each other, obviously we knew where we were both there.
Yeah.
But I had to be confident in front of him. And I actually think the fact I was like more confident because I knew he was there made the date go better.
Interesting.
Because like, I can't be nervous. Like my mate's there. I mean, I know he's within earshot. He was that close. And so it actually got better. But you got to have the ups and downs, right? Without the lows, you have the highs. So it's got to be done.
No, that's an interesting technique for people. I don't
I don't think I've thought of it that way, that if you're friends in the vicinity, you will be more confident.
Honestly, it happens.
Yeah.
It's more boys doing it to try and put the other one off. And
Yeah.
it's good and bad intentions. The bad intentions, obviously, to put your mate off, try and make him laugh. And you know what it's like when you're trying to hold back a laugh. Like, you can read it from a mile away.
Yeah.
The good intention is, us boys always do say, look, if it ever goes wrong, go to the gents, drop me a text, I'll come by. Oh, fancy seeing you here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're the guy who did this for me at the big sale, you know?
Yeah.
Which has never actually happened, but it's nice to know it's there in case.
I think that's really nice. I honestly don't think I've heard of a guy that said that they'll be the pickup. Like, I've heard girls say that, but not
Really?
guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, yeah, me and this one other guy who's an absolute hero, he offers to do that, which I haven't had to take him up on yet.
That's good. If it's going so bad.
Absolutely.
What would your TED Talk topic be?
So I love coffee, right? But I really love coffee, like to a nerdy degree, okay? Like, not only does it taste good, it's lovely to meet people and have a chat, but caffeine is incredible. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't do any drugs, right? I don't mind people who do, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Or coffee, no pun intended. But I love coffee, right? Absolutely love it. In my old job, I actually had to do some very long hours. You start to realise what works, what doesn't. Caffeine solves everything, right? Like, you're awake, you're alert, you're more productive, you're happier, you're better, you're in a better place. Like, everyone loves a coffee shop. So it would all be about the effects of caffeine, why we should drink more coffee, and how that can solve most of our problems, to be honest.
Do you have a Pret subscription?
I don't have Pret, mainly because I'm a Costa Coffee kind of guy. And everyone's like, oh, that's so mainstream. But let me tell you what, it has double the amount of caffeine of a Starbucks.
No
it's the
way.
same as 5 Red Bulls or 13 teaspoons of instant coffee. So if you're ever sitting in a Costa and you think, geez, my
you've really done your
brain feels
stats.
rewired, like, that's what, it's mental.
Yeah.
But you can guarantee, like, you won't need to sleep for like a week. So it's great.
Because I don't actually like coffee at all. I don't like the taste.
Oh, really?
No.
I feel like no one does in the beginning, though. It's
I
one of those
know.
weird things. I've grown to like it.
I'm pretty sure if I forced myself to like it, I probably would eventually. But I've had a lot of tries now. Like, I'm 26.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I will never appreciate the caffeine boost.
Yeah.
Apparently you can get the same from green apples.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard this.
No, I think it might be lies.
I also don't have green apples, so maybe I need to try.
Okay, I'm really interested in this one, actually.
Oh.
What is your most controversial opinion?
Yeah, and you know, I've been keen to speak about this because I genuinely think it's very controversial.
Okay.
But I take this view, it's very ambitious and sort of motivational, but you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And therefore, I'm always trying to upgrade who I'm with and who I'm spending time with. Now, what that means is a lot of people have their mates from sixth form or uni or school, and they grow up with them and they stick with them. And like, I love my mates from uni and school. Like, they'll always be there. But I'm trying to spend most of my time with like the most 5 inspirational people I can. And I'm very aware people do that to me, and you help each other. You're in their group, you're out their group. And I think the key caveat is like, I will always be there for my friends from sixth form, from uni, especially the guys who like, you know, met me, it's very cliche, but met me when I didn't have anything or were there during the tough times, always be there. But otherwise, like, I'm trying to spend the time with my 5 idols, you know, like if you can meet them, spend time with them, learn how they did what they did, try and be like them, and then unlock the next 5 sort of heroes that you want to chase after and be like. And that's my sort of philosophy. And it's quite split. A lot of friends and family are like, it's very unloyal, it's very fickle. The other half are like, that'll get you onto good things. You've got to keep learning. You don't want to be the best in the group. If you run with 10 sprinters doing the 100 meters, if you're the slowest, sure, you'll lose, but you'll get quicker each time. That kind of mentality. So
Yeah, it's interesting.
what do you think?
Yeah, I see how it works. I do similar. I'm not sure I'd call them my heroes, but as I've got older, I have tried to surround myself with people that align with my values better.
Yeah.
And not to say that's like completely disregarding people that I've met in my previous lives, I guess. From school and from uni. Like, I've retained good friendships, but I think I've got better at realising actually maybe that person isn't really aligned with who I want to be anymore. And it's not that I've dropped them, but you can distance yourself in a way that's nice because they probably are the same, right? They probably realise that you're also not that similar.
Absolutely.
And then it gives you room to find those people that you do align with.
Yeah. I feel like for me, I'll always be there for those guys who were there. Like, you got, 365 days in a year. You want to be obviously meeting people you know, but obviously trying to meet new people as well. And I think I've been quite grateful from when I was younger. I've always been brought up with the belief you can meet your real life heroes. You know, if you try hard enough, if you reach out to them, you can make it happen. And so I've always sort of grown up with this, well, let's go and meet them. Let's find out how they did what they did.
Yeah.
Because I want to be like them, rather than they, you know, remain a poster on the wall or whatever. So that's always been the mentality.
Well, I guess also a lot of people think I want to go, for example, meet that person. They won't actually put in the steps to do it.
Yeah.
I get that a lot with just like some people will say, I really want to do this.
Yeah.
And I say like, well, what's stopping you do it?
Yeah.
And they don't really have a good reason. They just say like, oh, time, or I get it a lot with exercise. So people say like, oh, I wish I could exercise every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you know, you can. Like,
I think that's so important, Katie. And like, you know, for me, I am massively into property at the moment. I find property really fascinating. And I get really passionate about things. So whether it's like doing an Ironman or property or my job, I do things that I'm super passionate about. And so I become very focused. And what it means is like, I do what I say I'm going to do, right? And I think also in a relationship is quite important. You don't want to be like over promising and then not actually doing what you say.
Yeah.
But that's something which I think is quite key about me to get across, is like I'm very focused and driven. I very much want to go and do what I say I'm going to do. It, which is probably my biggest weakness, could be a toxic trait, is that if I meet someone who complains a lot or says I should be doing this, I always have sympathy, but there's always like a breaking point where I'm like, look, okay, here's a 10-point plan. Let's do each of these over the next 10 days. Yeah. We're going to get you there. And it comes out of a kind and loving place, but it's like, we need to go and do it.
They did that small thing. And if you read like the motivational books, they all say that, don't they? You know what? Just go out, find one thing that you can get more towards that goal. Like do that one thing.
Exactly.
Whatever that is.
I think the way to sort of sum that up, and for any listeners who are quite similar, would be there's a book called The Secret, which touched on like the law of attraction. And it's basically this idea. It's quite deep. The more you spread a message, the more you say you're going to do something or you will do something or what you want to do, the more people you share your dream with, the more likely it is to happen.
Yeah.
Because you meet like-minded people, you meet someone who's achieved your dream. Obviously, the moment you meet someone who's done what you want to do, you ask them how to do it, you follow exactly what they say they did, and you probably do it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of mentality. And I love meeting new people. I love trying to find out how people have got to where they have, what makes them tick. You know, I think if anything you learn from me, which makes this podcast quite difficult. I love asking questions, which is the reverse, but I love asking questions because I want to know, like, what's that topic? What makes people tick? How do they get to where they are? So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this podcast is about you.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. So, final question for you is, what are your non-negotiables?
Non-negotiables, I've got 3. So I think it's got to be someone who's ambitious. And I think that's just because from past experience, if someone's not, we can say we're going to be understanding, but longer term, probably not so much. Family person. Like, I'm very family orientated. Like, I love my family to bits. I mean, they are everything to me, and I'm very aware I wouldn't be where I am without everything they've done. So I'm frequently going to my dad or my twin brother for advice all the time. Like, I love them. I go to them for pretty much everything. And then the final thing is just to still be a kid. You know, I'm in an industry which is very, very stressful, very busy, big risks attached with it. And so sometimes it's nice to just detox and be a kid. I think everyone deep down is a kid inside.
Yeah.
This is probably more of a want than a non-negotiable, But like, it's tricky. I want someone who's mature but also be a kid. It's quite tricky to get the two together, but I feel like that's what
true.
I can be like.
No, I know what you mean. It's like, it's kind of being silly when it warrants it, right?
Yeah.
Like, not all the time. Like, you want a maturity probably 80% of the time.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you two find something that's really funny and you just have a bit of a giggle, like, not judging, not like shutting it down, just letting it run.
I guess, like, imagine you go to a wedding or a networking event or something quite serious. Obviously, you both want to do your own thing. You want to meet people. You want to be able to leave the other person with someone to have their own chat. But you kind of want to give them a look that makes them laugh and having a serious conversation. That's what I'm all about, you know? It's just little things to just try and,
Or then, like, when you come away from that event, if there's some situation or someone that just really you thought was ridiculous, you can have a laugh about it.
100%.
And be on the same page.
You've got to laugh, right? It's like the best medicine to everything. And so, whilst, you know, if you're ambitious, you're going to be serious, you're going to be working hard, I'm sure you're productive in long hours, and I'm exactly the same. But you've got to laugh, right? What is it worth without any of that?
No, I love that. Okay, I'm going to go on to your Bestie Rex section.
Oh, gosh, I forgot about this.
I
thought that was the end. Oh.
No, it's not the end. Just getting started. Are you ready?
Yeah.
They say you never get to meet your heroes, but then I met my friend, and you can meet him too. If the Wolf of Wall Street was a nice family man without the prostitutes and all the drugs, then you've got my friend. He can be seen hanging around Mayfair, looking at properties in Preston, playing squash with old men, spending time with family, and putting on massive equity trades. Sometimes it's hard to put into words just how much of a top-tier guy he is, so perhaps it's easier to say in a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue, you should date my friend, he could be the man for you. Roses are red, violets are blue, you should date my friend to experience something new. Roses are red, violets are blue, you should date my friend, he will love you too. Roses are red, violets are blue, you should date my friend, he is the man for you.
That is unbelievable.
I love the little poem.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
It felt slightly brainwashy at the end when it was like, he's for you. I was like, yeah, wow.
I can't believe that. That guy is incredible. Actually, that is, compared to the damage he could have done, that's class. That's amazing. I mean, where to begin? Do I dare to explain? I don't.
No, I think he captured it really nicely. He captured that you are a unique individual, is what I got from that, in the sense that not in an insulting way.
I mean, I should probably clarify. Like, I'm a finance guy, and I love it. Like, this is the dream job for me. But I'm a nice guy, and I think that's. I mean, everyone's going to say that.
That's the hybrid.
But genuinely, I think that is it. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm very, very interested in property. I think that's really exciting. And so whether it's stock market trading, being on the trading floor, property, I love it, but it's important to be a family guy and be nice, deep at heart, not like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
A good version of him.
And no drugs.
Exactly.
He got in the no drugs.
Exactly.
I love it. It was
the
really
poem's
cute.
Class. I might have to use that for a Valentine's card if this podcast goes well. I hope he doesn't copyright that. That's amazing. This is too good.
I thought it'd be super creative if someone wrote in with the same poem.
Yeah.
So if they want to date you, they could write like, roses are red, violets are blue. Like, hint. I really want to date you. Yeah, you know, like,
there's a hint, guys.
Yeah. People ask me a lot, like, what should I start the message with?
Yeah.
Giving it to you.
That's, yeah.
Don't bother messaging me that.
That's so sweet of him. And actually, I mean, I think the world of that guy. So the fact he said, like, they say, you know, you meet your heroes and you met me. It's so sweet of him. He's a great guy.
That links really nicely with your, you know, who you surround yourself with. Like, clearly he surrounds himself with you. Okay, this is the final round now.
Okay.
This or that.
Right.
So giving you two options, you just go with whatever you fancy.
Okay.
Would you rather confess to cheating on your partner or catch your partner cheating on you?
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard. Sorry, I just threw you in the deep end.
That is very hard. But I know like an immediate answer.
Okay.
I'd rather catch my partner cheating on me because I'm a very like moral kind of guy. Like obviously everyone's going to say this, but I'd never ever cheat. I've been cheated on it before. It's happened with family. I would never wish that on anyone. And so I feel like I could probably deal with it better than someone else, but I'd rather catch someone than it be me. I don't think that's just a horrible situation to be in. I feel like whilst it's a really bad thing, I could probably deal with it and move on. It'd be very difficult, but for me to cheat on someone, that'd be such a bad thing to do. I don't think I'd live with myself. I wouldn't sleep at night. I honestly
think it's harder to be the cheater sometimes because you have to really like confess up.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it sucks if someone cheats on you, but at the end of the day, you can channel your energy towards like, they're a horrible person. Where it's you, that's so much harder to be like,
you're annoyed at yourself.
Yeah, I'm the issue. Exactly.
And I feel like there's no excuse for it. You know, if I did something wrong, if I break something, like I'll obviously put my hands up and I'll say that was me and I'm really sorry. To be honest, I actually, as a side note, hate arguing. I mean, I'm sure it's part of every relationship, but I kind of hate it. So I'm the first to say, look, I'm sorry, let's move on, let's fix this.
I'm the same. I'm a conflict avoider.
Yeah, same here. I hate it. And I'm much rather let's focus on solution. Like, I'm sorry, it's me, it's fine. But there's no excuse for that in my book. Like, so I'd hate it. I'd absolutely hate it.
Yeah, you're right. It's just, there isn't any because you should break up with the person before.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to someone else or like feeling like the relationship's not working, but not addressing it and then going and cheating, that is wrong.
It's terrible.
And that's why I agree with you that there is no excuse because you could have broken the relationship so cheating wasn't a word. It was just then you being single.
Yeah. And I think it's, to some degree, maybe I'm being very flippant, but like, were you just not willing to have a very difficult conversation?
Probably, and that's the thing.
And it's a very selfish thing to do. Sometimes you just gotta chat about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, people are responsible. They can do what they want. You just got to be trusting. Yeah. But like, that's what you want is obviously the trust.
Yeah, it's important.
Deep stuff, Katie.
Deep.
This is
some deep topics today.
Yeah,
it's good. This is way less deep. Next
okay.
Would you rather be Batman or Iron Man?
Oh, I'd have to be Iron Man.
Yeah?
I think ability to fly is pretty epic. Batman's got some cool gadgets, but then so's Tony Stark. So I feel like Iron Man would be good. I also like the fact he's quite a normal human when he's not in the suit. I feel like I could probably adapt into that quite well.
I feel like Tony Stark suits you better.
Yeah.
Like, he's less dark and mysterious.
Well, fun fact, Iron Man was a Halloween outfit for me back in the day.
Really? There you go.
That's a giveaway. So I feel like, that's got to be the go-to. I absolutely love it.
Cool. Okay, would you rather have all traffic lights you approach to be green or never have to stand in line ever again?
I have no idea how you come up with these. I would say I never have to stand in line again. I feel like that's probably. Queuing. I feel like that's probably the key thing. I mean, I think
it happens to you more throughout life.
Yeah, I feel like when you're in the car as well, like whether the light's red or green, you can be on the phone, you can have a chat, you can be with someone in the car.
Yeah, and it's only going to be a few minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas a queue can be like hours.
And I'm just thinking, like in the car, you're quite comfortable. Have you ever been queuing for a toilet or queuing for a bottle of water or queuing to get your train ticket?
So agreed.
You need to get there.
This was a silly question. Now you're going through it. The answer's so obvious.
So I think that would be my go-to by far. I like that one.
Would you rather spend every weekend indoors or spend every weekend outdoors?
Every weekend outdoors.
Yeah.
Every weekend out. I mean, I think purely you got a couple of things. A health point of view. It's nice to get some fresh air. But also, I'm thinking sport. I absolutely love sport. Probably should have mentioned this earlier. I love sport. And pretty much most sports happen outdoors or can happen outdoors. So I would do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think even if one of my favourite sayings is there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothes. Even if it's tipping it down with rain, you could probably have a good time.
Yeah. Or as when I was younger, one of my teachers used to say, "Skin's waterproof. Get out, have fun. You're going to be fine.
I like
just
that.
Enjoy it.
Skin's
just
waterproof. That's so good. You're just going to get wet. It's
absolutely.
Fine. Would you rather have one wish granted today or 10 wishes granted 20 years from now?
Oh, Katie, what are you doing to me?
I'm giving you hard ones today.
I would say one wish granted today, I think. And
Am I allowed to ask what it would be? I don't know.
Like the immediate things that come to mind genuinely is probably like either good health for my family or for me, or for them to live like as long as they can. I feel like time is the most precious commodity, right? And I feel like, so 20 years from now, I'll be 44. Life will hopefully be fairly set up, so I won't be wishing for things so much if I'm lucky.
True.
And my biggest fear is like, I love my family and love those around me. I don't want to lose them. So if I can wish for them to live as long as possible, I think, or for whatever age, that would probably be it. So I'd probably do that today.
Yeah. That's nice. That's a nice wish. 20.
What would yours be? Can I reverse the question? Is that not allowed?
No, it's so allowed. My one wish for today.
Yeah.
This is really weird.
Better person on the podcast than me.
I actually heard this on another podcast, but I'm going to steal it.
Ah, okay.
And it would be that I have the superpower to refill anything.
As in drinks?
So, it's so many levels. Yeah, drinks on a night out. Never have to pay for anything again.
Yeah.
But if your bank account's empty, just refill it. Wardrobe empty, just refill it. Like,
that is great.
No petrol, just refill it.
That's amazing.
There's so many opportunities where you could just like refill.
That is so good.
So that would be mine. So and it's like not selfish either because you just refill anything, right?
Yeah.
So if someone else has no petrol, you can just refill their car.
Gosh, that's a good...
they're hungry, refill their fridge.
I actually think...
you could solve every problem with refill.
I was about to say, I actually reckon you could become the most popular person on the planet.
Yeah. And also the most generous and just like the solver of everything. The problem is, and I did think about this after the podcast, if someone evil got it, it would also be disastrous. Like refill nuclear weapons.
Refill student death.
Yeah, like every gun you ever had, like unlimited ammo, like it could be really bad. But yeah, student debt could pay all that off, refill. No one would ever need overdraft ever again.
What a great life that would be. Could refill my coffee, so I'd be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be your friend, Katie.
No one needs a Pret subscription if they know me. Yeah, I thought it was genius. I was
Fantastic
like, that is
idea.
So clever, yeah.
Really good.
So that would be my wish.
Mm-hmm. Actually, if I had one wish, do you know what I would also do? Would be remembering faces and names. That is like a big weakness of mine.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big weakness of mine. So do you know what? Doing a podcast was the best and worst thing I've done when I was at uni. I did one.
You did another podcast?
I did another podcast on all things finance. If you guys ever got my name, you'd find it, which is why this will stay anonymous. Unless you're keen to meet, of course, or watch my podcast. And the weird thing was about 10,000 people watched it. Right?
Wow.
And so the good thing was obviously helped loads of people with careers, super fulfilling. I was really happy. The bad thing was people came up to me and I didn't really know, do I know you or do I not yet know you? And then I was caught in this tricky, do I pretend to know you or do I be honest, but I'm really sorry, where have we met before? So anyway, yeah, one wish would also be if I could memorise names and faces instantly. That would be incredible. Yeah. That would be incredible.
Helpful for networking.
Bit vain and selfish, but yeah. Oh, well. But that's also another one.
The refill one was also partly selfish.
More candid, yeah.
And that concludes the podcast. We're done.
Amazing.
Do you have any final words?
I'd like to thank the guy who got me on here. Honestly, massive thanks. Not only is he best friend in the Power Circle, lifetime friend forever. I mean, he's incredible. He's my hero and I'm so grateful he got me on here.
That's nice. Good shout out.
If you think you could be the ambitious, family-orientated, mature, yet sometimes silly person for this character, please contact the podcast on Instagram @SingleSounds. Looking forward to receiving your requests. Thanks for listening and see you next Tuesday.